Good morning. So today I'm going to start the essay that we're going to be working on tomorrow. We're going to do kind of like a preview today. We're going to read the articles, we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to have you write the thesis. So, not a whole lot, but I do want you to listen to this or you're going to be lost tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. Your assignment that you're going to be working on this week is write a multi paragraph response that explains how Bird Woman in passage one and the Robin in passage two help others by performing important tasks. Um, if you notice, it's the same thing. Use information from both passages to support your response. As you write your response, be sure to review the passages, create clear, organized paragraphs, draw information from both passages, use evidence from the passages to support your points. Pay attention to the grammar, structure, and mechanics of your sentences. So, in other words, organize it, get information from both passages, and write it with correct grammar. Okay. Make sure you include an introduction, you have information from both passages, and a conclusion. And once again, it needs to be a multi paragraph response. So today, the only thing we're going to do is we're going to read the two passages, and then I'm going to have you write a thesis. Don't worry about if you get it wrong. We're just trying here. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay. But I want everyone to attempt it because I'm going to take a grade on if you actually tried it. Okay. So don't just say, oh, I didn't know. Try it. So, unlike last week, these two are fictional pieces. Okay. Obviously, there's no such thing as a bird woman. Okay. So, these are also like mythology or folk tales. It says in this play, drama or play. Remember, we read that for our theme. So, this is a play. Based on a folk tale from northern Australia. A folk tale is something that is passed down from generation to generation. Um, it also many times explains things that are happening in our world, like how the moon came to be or things like that, um, in a story format, a myth kind of format. So it says that the elder is telling a story to his granddaughter, Alinta. Okay. So in the beginning, you're going to have Elder and Alinta. Those are the two telling the story. And then it's going to go into Bird Woman and Crocodile Man. And that is a part of the story that the elder is saying. Okay. Here we go. But the fire is warm, young one, and I have a story to tell. A story? What about, grandfather? It is about fire. A bird woman lived in a nearby tree. Every day she looked down at Crocodile Man. One day she flew down to him. There are people by the river who want to cook their food. Would you share your fire sticks with them? They can eat their food raw, just like you do. I am the boss of fire. I control fire. Nobody will have fire sticks but me. You are unkind. Creatures must help each other. If I had fire, I would share it with others, even with a mean, cranky crocodile. I'm going to pause here just for a second because I forgot to tell you guys this in the beginning, but I'm going to have these passages uploaded to Google Classroom. So if you want to pause this and go there and follow along, that's fine. Or you can just follow along with the video here because I'll keep moving it as I read. So we have a bird woman and a crocodile man. And it seems in their country, the only person who has fire is this crocodile man. And he has the fire in the form of these fire sticks. So everyone else has to eat their food raw. And I'm sure they're cold. So Bird Woman asked if he would share. And obviously, the crocodile man is not going to share. He's selfish and he wants it all for himself. So let's continue on. This is back to the elder talking to his granddaughter. As time passed, Bird Woman watched Crocodile Man from her tree. She went about her business, catching food, eating it raw, and shivering with cold at night. But she was always watching and waiting. Finally, the moment for which she had waited arrived. Crocodile Man opened his mouth and yawned the longest, sleepiest, biggest yawn anyone had ever seen. This is my chance. Bird Woman flew down and snatched the fire sticks from the sleeping crocodile. Now I can give fire to the people. And Bird Woman proudly flew around the countryside, putting fire into the heart of every tree. That is why, to this day, people can make fire using dry sticks and wood from a tree. To keep them warm at night, Alinta says. Yes, and to cook their food with, and to light their way in the dark. But that is not the end of the story. Next, the bird woman did a dance, placed the fire sticks into her tail, and became a beautiful rainbow bird. Then she flew straight to the crocodile man. Your life will always be down in the wet and muck. I will fly high and stay dry in the fresh air. If you try to come up here, you might die. So that is why the crocodile lives down in the swamp? Yes. And even though fire is gone, he still opens his mouth wide and growls, I am the boss. She says this drowsily. And Rainbow Bird, if you are lucky, you can still see her flying through the sky, taking the fire to the trees in blaze of rainbow bright feathers. Alinta, are you awake? Alinta has fallen asleep by the fire. Okay, so we have the bird woman who steals the fire sticks from the crocodile man and puts all of the fire into the trees. So now everyone in her land can make their own fire. So it's not like she stole the fire sticks and kept them for herself. No, she put the fire in all of the trees so that now everyone in the land can have fire. And they said that's why you can make fire using dry sticks. That is their explanation of why we can use the wood from trees to make fire. And they also explained how the crocodile man, that's why crocodiles live in the swampy area because of that. And of course, we can see a rainbow every once in a while. All right, now let's go to the next one. How the robin's breast became red. In this Native American myth, so this they call this a myth. It's just like a folk tale. It's the same type of thing, okay, where it's passed on from generation to generation, and it explains how things are, how everyday things have come to be. Most of the time, like things in nature. Okay, so in this Native American myth, a father and son try to keep a fire going and get unexpected help. Notice that these are both about fire. Keep that in mind. Okay, long ago in the far north, where it is very cold, there was only one fire. A hunter and his little son took care of this fire and kept it burning day and night. They knew that if the fire went out, the people would freeze and the white bear would have the Northland all to himself. One day the hunter became ill and his son had the work to do. So, what we're seeing here is that there's just one fire that keeps the entire land, the entire Northland, warm. Okay. And it is up to this one father and son to keep it going. But there's a bear who wants the Northland and is just waiting for this fire to go out. So let's see what happens. For many days and nights, he bravely took care of his father and kept the fire burning. The white bear was always hiding near, watching the fire. He longed to put it out, but he did not dare, for he feared the hunter's arrows. When he saw how tired and sleepy the little boy was, he came closer to the fire and laughed to himself. One night, the poor boy could endure the fatigue. Fatigue is tired. Okay. If you're fatigued, you're extremely tired. So he could endure the fatigue no longer and fell fast asleep. The white bear ran as fast as he could and jumped upon the fire with his wet feet and rolled upon it. At last, he thought it was all out and went happily away to his cave. A gray robin was flying near and saw what the white bear was doing. She waited until the bear went away. Then she flew down and searched with her sharp little eyes until she found a tiny live coal. This she fanned patiently with her wings for a long time. Notice that this is in bold. So let's go. Live coal. It's a hot coal without a flame. So if you've ever made a fire, a campfire, and even when there's no flame burning, the wood at the bottom is bright red. So that means that there's still a chance for fire. Okay, so it's a live coal, but it's just not. There's no flame to it. Okay. All right. So, and what does fire need? It needs oxygen. So if you've ever had a campfire that's going out, um, sometimes your parents may either blow on it or fan it. That gets oxygen to it, and then a flame will start. So that's what she's doing with her wings. She's fanning it to try to get oxygen to it. Her little breast was scorched red, but she did not stop until a fine red flame blazed up from the ashes. Then she flew away to every hut in the Northland. Wherever she touched the ground, a fire began to burn. Soon, instead of one little fire, the whole North Country was lighted up. The white bear went further back into his cave in the iceberg and growled terribly. He knew that there was now no hope that he would ever have the Northland all to himself. This is the reason that the people in the North Country love the robin and are never tired of telling their children how its breast became red. Okay, so in this story, the same thing where now we have a robin who there's only one fire for the whole land, but she um, came down and actually sacrificed herself because she like burnt her chest there, and then wherever she landed a fire would start. So now instead of one fire, every home has its own fire. All right, so those are the two stories. Now let's go back to our question. Now, the thing you have to do is um, you have to look at what is in common with both of these stories. Well, the thing that's in common is they both have fire, right? The question they're telling you is write a multi paragraph response that explains how Bird Woman in passage one and the Robin in passage two help others by performing important tasks. Well, what is the important task that they're both performing? Aren't they giving fire to their people? Okay. So do not tell me how they gave fire. Just tell me what the important task that both of them did. Okay. So you can start with both Bird Woman and the Robin and then finish that statement. And that is your thesis. Okay. You're not going to tell me how they did it. That's going to be in the body of your essay. Okay. So what I want you to do is on Google Classroom, there is an assignment. It has both of these articles in there, and then it also has a question in the directions. You are to create your own doc. Everyone knows how to do that. Just create your own doc, and all you need to do is write the thesis. Okay, that's it. Just one sentence. And I even told you how to start it, both Bird Woman and the Robin. And then tell me what they did. Now, not specifics, what they did that's similar. Okay. And also restate the prompt. So look at they're helping others by performing important tasks. So that should be included in your thesis. Okay. So, what important task? How did they help others? But do it where they're both the same. So don't give me specifics about each. Tell me, write it so that it's the same for both of them. And then in your body, you're going to explain what each one of them did. Okay. So just try it. I know some of you are thinking, oh, what is she talking about? Just try it. Okay. Um, you are going to get credit for trying it. So I want everyone to have a sentence. Okay. I'm going to check tomorrow. We're going to share them with each other. I'm going to check to make sure everyone has one sentence. That's all you have to do, one sentence. And that you actually watch this. I'm going to put this on Ed Puzzle. And if you watched this video, you'll also get some points. So this is a pretty easy way to bring up your grade if you did not do that well on the theme. So good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.